Welcome to the Disney Wedding Podcast, brought to you by Carrie Hayward's Fairytale Weddings Guide, the only guidebook and bridal organizer created exclusively for Walt Disney World weddings and vow renewals. I'm Carrie Hayward, and each week I share real-world planning advice and money-saving tips from couples who've celebrated at Disney parks and resorts and on the Disney Cruise Line. Join me now as the Disney Wedding Podcast shares real experiences and expert insights from Disney destinations around the world. Today on the Disney Wedding Podcast, I am speaking with Disney bride Shakera Rudder about her ceremony at the Wedding Pavilion with a reception at the St. Augustine Ballroom at the Grand Floridian Convention Center and a dessert party in EPCOT at Germany Promenade. I thought you guys would be interested to hear how she chose these locations and how she planned everything and how it all turned out. So welcome, Shakera.
Hi, Carrie.
Thanks so much for being on the show today. I would love to start at the very beginning and find out how you guys decided to have your wedding at Disney.
I decided to have the wedding at Disney because I am a huge Disney fan. I have been since I was a little girl. I did have to bring my husband to my side. He was not a Disney fan initially, but once we had our first trip there, he loved it. So he understood why I love Disney so much and definitely obliged me having my Disney dream wedding.
So how did your friends and family react when they found out where the wedding was going to be?
I had a mixed bag. A lot were really, really excited. And then some were like, oh, okay, that's different. But once they got there and had the experience, they really, really loved it. So it was awesome.
That's wonderful. How many guests did you invite and how many were able to make the trip?
I invited about 75. I did end up with 60 guests. So I got a pretty decent show up rate.
Definitely. Did you set up a room block for your guests?
We did. So we set up Coronado Springs, All-Star Movies, and we also did Grand Floridian as well.
Now, how did you guys choose the day of the week and time of day for your event?
So Cohen had proposed to me Memorial Day weekend, so we thought that that would be a good time to have our wedding. We also liked the date 5/25/25 because we just thought that it flowed. And then also it was a great cushion, so people could either fly in that Saturday or Friday and then not really have to take any days off and then leave on a Monday. They wouldn't have to take off any time for work. So if they wanted to just come in that Saturday and attend the wedding on Sunday and leave Monday, it wouldn't interfere with their work schedules or losing any time.
Got it. Okay. How did you choose your ceremony and reception venues?
So I did go on the tour and I saw a couple of the locations. The Wedding Pavilion was just stunning to me. So when I went in there, the organist was playing and I saw the castle and I just started to cry. I was like, oh my God, this is it. I just knew. And then I also liked that it was just naturally beautiful and it had beautiful lighting and that you didn't need a lot of decor in there.
Got it. How about your reception venue?
The reception venue was based on convenience. I didn't love the ballroom and I actually didn't want my event in the ballroom. I was going to go towards Citrus, but because of the timing of the wedding, my husband didn't want us to get married so early in the morning. So we compromised and had a 12 o'clock start, but that pushed us into having to do the ballroom. And because a lot of our guests were older, I just thought it would be a little bit more flexible just to stay on the premises. So the ballroom was my next best bet.
Got it. Did you use any outside vendors for your event?
Yeah, so I did use the Roots Photography. And I also used Happy Heart Films, which I have to give a shout out to Nate and Kimberly. They are absolutely amazing. If you are needing a videographer or photographer, they made my day. Not only do they do exceptional work, but they also mapped out my day, planned my day with my planner and my day went so smoothly because of the plans that was implemented by them. So great team. They work very well together. I also used Stinza Beauty for makeup. I used Olivia for my coordination. She was also my outside coordinator. She did a phenomenal job implementing my vision. I did do a lot of DIY projects. So it was really great for her to like just place everything out for me, clean it up, put it away. She was flawless. So Olivia was amazing. I think that's it.
How did you guys choose your officiant?
So my officiant, I actually found online. Wonderful, great officiants. I did interview quite a few through the Disney Facebook page. However, I found that their pricing was a little bit higher, and I felt like I could get someone a little bit more economical, which I did. Me and her worked on our wedding ceremony together, and we really curated a beautiful ceremony, including my daughter, as well as the stand ceremony and so forth. So it was really flawless, and she did a great job.
That's fantastic. What kind of entertainment did you guys add to your ceremony and reception?
I actually did our own music, and then I had a family friend kind of just do the flow, which was amazing. What we did was like map out our whole day for the reception, and that way it was easy for her to go with the flow. We also had Mickey and Minnie, and my father-in-law surprised us with a steel drum. He's a professional steel drum player, and I was not aware that he was going to play the steel drum, and he did in the middle of our reception, and it was perfect. A lot of energy. My husband is Trinidadian, so we had Trinidadian flags, American flags, and it was just so much energy and so much fun. So that was like great entertainment.
That's awesome. Do you have any menu items or cake flavors you would recommend?
Yes. So my husband loved the short ribs. I thought the salmon was pretty good too, but I have to say, and I might be, a little harsh, but I didn't love the food at any of our events at all. It was like mediocre at best, to be quite honest. But that was me.
Was it like the temperature it was served at or just the ingredients?
I think the ingredients and the flavors, it just was like, okay. Like even the Ohana noodles that I was like so excited to try, the cheeseburger spring rolls, to me, it was just okay. My guests loved the cheeseburger spring rolls. I had one of my nephews just loading his plate and just was eating them like crazy. So he enjoyed those. My husband loved the short rib. He really, really loved it. We didn't do a cake at our wedding just because it was like midday and we didn't have like tons of cake fans. So we passed on the cake, but we did bread pudding instead. And it was good. It wasn't bad, but overall, I wasn't a big fan of it.
That's interesting. Do you feel that way about most of the food at Disney, or was it like not as good as other food you've had at Disney?
I feel like other food I had at Disney is better. Comparatively to like Disney cruise food, it's way better, more flavorful. But at the wedding, it wasn't that great.
Interesting. Okay. Can you tell my listeners a bit about your EPCOT dessert party?
Yeah, so unfortunately, it did rain at our dessert party. So we did go to the Norway Loft first. And then after that, they did take us over to Germany, which is where we were supposed to have our dessert party for our photos and to view the fireworks. And then after that, we went on a ride mixing to Remy. Norway Loft is not the most, I guess, desirable location. It was great because it was covered, but just be aware, like with your guests, like if you do need a backup location, a lot of my guests were older, so they had to do all that walking and then take the stairs all the way up there, which was a little rough on people. So
there is an elevator there. They didn't let you use the elevator?
No, they didn't want us to use the elevator. They made our guests walk all those steps in the rain. So they're now rainy, wet, and sticky, and and now we have to walk on these steps. So I would definitely, advocate for yourself when it comes to backup locations, because that probably wasn't the best move for my guests.
Interesting. Okay. Can you tell my listeners about your welcome party in Animal Kingdom and whether you did a ride mix in there?
Yeah, so we started off, it was raining as well. We started off with a ride mix-in on the safari. A lot of our guests loved it. But again, with your backup locations, I would definitely advocate. I did ask for Harambe Marketplace. They did not give me Harambe Marketplace. They gave me dinosaurs area, and I'm not a fan of the dinosaurs area. Like when I actually go to Animal Kingdom on my own, I don't like go in that area. It's just not my jush. So I would strongly suggest advocating to make sure that they give you locations that you really want to be in. So I didn't get the backup location I requested, but overall the event was really nice. We did have tacos there. So we did tacos, chicken tacos. We did zebra domes there with jumbo juice, and my guests enjoyed it and they had a really great time, especially with the rhyme mix and everything.
Can you give my listeners a timeline of how the wedding day all ran?
Yeah, so we started at 5 a.m. doing makeup and hair. Then the Roots came in. They took photos of my dress and us getting ready. Kimberly also came in at the same time, kept us, like I said, on track, on schedule. We did stay at the Grand Floridian, so we went downstairs, took some more photos. I did a first look with my dad, which was really sweet and special, so I really enjoyed doing that. After we wrapped up the first look, we did some family photos, and then we went over to the Wedding Pavilion where they helped me in the guest suite for a little bit. It was kind of cool because I could hear the music playing and hear everyone going down the aisle, and I knew when Cohen went down the aisle and everything. So I went down the aisle, had a beautiful ceremony, beautiful wedding. After that, we wrapped up doing more photos. They did take us over to like a little separate room and gave us some treats from our cocktail hour. So we enjoyed that. It was great to have that time. The coordinators were amazing. Disney coordinators were amazing. They checked on us. Then they allowed us to go into the room and take a look to see everything. And it was just spectacular. So it was good to have that moment just to breathe and relax after the ceremony and have one-on-one time. So I love that they did that for us. After that, we did our intros. So like our walking in, which was really fun. We did our first dance and the father-daughter dance and everything. And then we just moved fast. Like we just had our toast, we partied, and then we did have a little break in the day, just for a couple hours, which was great. Changed my dress, and then we went on to EPCOT for our dessert party.
Got it. Okay, so out of all of this, what ended up being your favorite memory of your wedding day?
I honestly think seeing my family, right? Seeing their faces, seeing them so excited. Also, like guests congratulating you, like you better be prepared for that because when you're in that dress and in your gown and everything, everyone is stopping you to say congratulations or you look beautiful or this is amazing. So it's a lot of interaction with guests, which is, I've heard that they do that, but it was like out of body experience to feel it for myself, like how much people come up to you and say wonderful things on your wedding day. So that was amazing. And just seeing the joy within my husband and our family and all of us coming together to enjoy my favorite place was just amazing, amazing experience.
That's fantastic. When you guys were planning, what were some of the most important aspects of the event where you focused your attention or your budget?
I really wanted to focus my budget on giving people an experience, my guest experience. A lot of them have never been to Disney before. This was their first experience going. So as much as I wanted to do like the carriage and everything else, I decided to spend my money on just having a welcome party and a dessert party because I wanted them to have that real life experience that they may not have necessarily gotten anywhere else. And it was worth it to me because people are still talking about it, and they're saying, thank you so much. Like, this was the best experience I gotten. And I've even turned people who were like so about Disney into like Disney fans. Like, they're planning their trip to come back to Disney. So I felt good about that for sure. So it was worth it. It was worth making sure that they had a great experience.
That's awesome. Were there any aspects that were less important where maybe you saved your money or just your effort?
Yeah, so things that I could cut as far as like decor, like doing it myself, that was something that not only do I like to do my own decor and decorating and everything like that, but it also did save me money. Being able to cut the budget with that. Not focusing on all the little things, because Disney is beautiful itself, and just allowing the beauty of what I was in the space and working with it. One of the things I did was just all navy linen. So instead of going against the grain, I just worked with it because I didn't want to upgrade my chairs. And when you look at my photos and you see the navy, all of it playing well together, and me like kind of basing my decor off of that, it flowed so nicely that it almost looked intentional and not like as though, I just was settling for the chairs that they had. So those are the little things that I did to kind of just work with what they were offering, and work within my budget as well.
That's a great tip. Now, did anything go wrong or just not turn out like you expected?
Nothing really that Disney did. There was things that went wrong on my end that, had nothing to do with them. But the only thing, like I said, is that I would definitely advocate for my backup locations a little bit harder. When I got my BEO, I kept asking to have backup locations in there, and I was told that, it's a park decision and I wasn't able to have backup locations listed. And I would fight a little bit against that because I was not 100% happy with my backup locations at all. And then the other thing would be like the food. The food was, to me, not the greatest, but that's also an opinion because my guests really did enjoy it.
Interesting. Okay. Now, was there anything that seemed like a big deal beforehand or you were worried about, and then it turned out not to be a big deal?
Yeah, so everything, right? So everything seemed like it was going to be a big deal. I was really stressed about my timeline. I was stressed about, everything not going off as well as I had planned it to. But honestly, that day I decided it is what it is. Whatever happens, happens. And my day was amazing. Like, overall, Disney did an amazing job. They gave me an amazing day. My husband and I cannot stop raving about how wonderful our day was. And when you have great vendors and Disney has their planners that are with you from every step of the way, you're going to be taken care of. So do not worry about any of the little things. Immerse yourself in the moment because it truly does go really, really fast, and just enjoy it, because anything that is wrong, they will take care of it, and they are on it, and they follow you throughout the entire day. So I did not feel like I wasn't going to be taken care of. I didn't feel like if anything did happen, I wasn't aware of it. And if anything could possibly happen, I would just speak to them and they were on it. So hands down, they were amazing. The entire Disney team was amazing. Best experience I've ever had. So overall, 10 out of 10 as far as my experience.
That's wonderful. Now, you mentioned the backup locations. Is there anything else you would have done differently knowing what you know now?
Well, I would have made sure that I had backup locations in my BEO, because they were telling me that, it's a park decision on that day. I kind of don't love that idea because, if I have something envisioned in my mind, I feel like I should be delivered that. So just putting someone somewhere on that day is kind of not fair, if you will. So that's the only thing I would kind of fight for a little bit more, is to see if that I could get those backup locations in my BEO. So that way, if it does rain or anything does happen, that I know that my backup location is just as good as my first choice.
Got it. Do you have any other tips or advice for future Disney couples?
Definitely. So I would definitely give myself time to plan. Time moves faster than you think. When you first start planning the wedding, you're like, oh, it's taking forever. And before you know it, the day is there. So give yourself plenty of time to plan, organize, so you can make sure that you are getting everything you want. Also, I would definitely make sure that I'm communicative with the planner. A lot of things that I got and achieved that day is because I was advocating for myself and advocating for us as a couple of what we envisioned on that day. And they were able to really come through by just changing some things on the menu, you know, shortening something or adjusting. It just was able to get everything we needed and still stay within our budget. And then let it go. Once you make your plans, once you make everything, let it go and enjoy, because there's no need to stress. You're here, enjoy it. The day is yours. Just have fun. I would definitely get Carrie's book and listen to every podcast. Carrie has not even raised her prices on the book. I mean, it's an absolute steal. It's worth every penny. The knowledge she has is outstanding. I would not have had the wedding I had if she did not have that book out there. And if she was not a beacon of help whenever there was a question that was needed. So get the book, hands down, and then also listen to every podcast. Even if it doesn't necessarily pertain to the wedding that you want, listen, because there's going to always be something that you're going to be able to take to help you with your day.
That's wonderful. I'm so glad you found the book helpful.
Yes.
Well, Shakera, I think you've offered a lot of great tips and advice for anyone who's interested in getting married or having a vow renewal at Walt Disney World, and I appreciate your taking the time.
Thank you so much. This has been a dream and a pleasure.
That's our show for today. I'm your host, Carrie Hayward. Thanks for listening, and be sure to join me again next week for another episode of the Disney Wedding Podcast. You can find past episodes and photo galleries for each show at DisneyWeddingPodcast.com or listen wherever you get your podcasts. For even more inspiration and planning tips, follow the Disney Wedding Podcast and Fairytale Weddings Guide on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and YouTube. And for instant answers to all your Walt Disney World wedding questions, download the ebook version of Carrie Hayward's Fairytale Weddings Guide at fairytaleweddingsguide.com.